obviously, we talked to a bunch of you guys afterwards, but it was a tough one to swallow, going on the road and not performing the way we would have liked to have performed. And we got outplayed. To be honest with you, that's just being real. We said that to our guys after the game. Especially when you go on the road, you've got to earn everything that you're going to get, and we didn't do a good enough job at that. I also reminded them and told them I've played worse games and found a way to win. So what's difficult about, when you get punched in the gut, what's difficult about actually losing is, can you be as constructive on yourself because you have some of those feelings of not obviously coming out on top and having a victory. So that's a challenge to us that we're hopefully going to embrace. I know us as coaching staff, me in particular, definitely going to embrace that. I'm in the same boat as these guys, right? That had a vision and the vision didn't pan out, and now you got to be able to go back, reevaluate those things, humble yourself, and then move forward. So there's some highlights, there's some good things, and we hammered away at that as well. If you would have told me on Friday as we took off and left and said, hey, this is going to be a battle, and it's going to come down to the last 6 minutes of the game, you're going to have the ball on the 50-yard line, down 2, would you take it? I'd say, yeah, that's what we've trained for. That's where we want to be in a battle, and give us a chance to close the game out and find a way to win. And so as poor as we may have played, we still had that opportunity with like maybe 6:30 to go in the game with the ball, with a chance to go ahead and maybe win a football game. And we kind of fell back into some of the things that we talked about, not being able to finish. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from the entire game. And the game is humbling, and so we got humbled a bit in that way. But we're excited about moving forward because there is no time to rest and relax. The reality is you've got a 2-0 Georgia Southern team that knocked off Nebraska last year at home. So hopefully that is a great awareness to all of us. Kind of like you look around college football, it's just the realities behind it. If you don't come to play, you don't play your best, then there's an opportunity for everybody every week. And so it's a great challenge for us. A lot of times they come in bunches, and that's the kind of the unique thing. We're 0 on 2 games, and that's tough. That's tough to overcome a lot of those situations, right? I mean, you got to manufacture everything. You got to get every stop. There were some unique ones in the game. The ball snapped over his head, and it takes one hop back up to the quarterback. They drop the ball in the end zone. It takes one hop and right back up to the quarterback, and then they snap it over their head again, and it takes 3 or 4 hops and bounces right back up to the quarterback. It just happens, right? I mean, I tell the guys all the time, when you're on the road in particular, you got to make things happen. You can't just hope that ball bounces our way. But in some of those situations, I think it's quite unique. I think I showed the defense 3 of the first 8 plays of the game, we had an opportunity to have a takeaway. The ball being snapped over the head and the way it bounced. To Rico, I think had an opportunity, he broke on a really good play out in the flat and didn't come down with it. And then actually on their first 3rd and long, we didn't realize they got a first down. The officials never said it. The guy on our sideline was saying first down, but they didn't actually give them a first down, so it ended up being 4th and 1. But on that play in particular, the back makes a cutback, the ball is sticking completely out to the side, and we come in from behind, which is usually where those things happen. And just by chance, we tackle it, but we don't get any piece of the ball. There's 3 of the first 8 plays that we got to find a way to make the thing bounce our way and make the ball come out. Right? We talked about this before the season started, and your ability to take what is there and what is given is what we've got to be able to go with. When hopefully you believe you've got some more weapons than just 2 tailbacks or what you're going to hang your hat on every single time. But when you do have those opportunities, you got to take advantage of them and say what it is. They did a good job at taking away the run and stopping the run and doing some things, especially on early. But we have some opportunities to get our guys on the edges with things, and we've got to take advantage of those for him as well. And I think he understands that. He definitely understands that. We also know that we got to find more ways to create energy through the running game, whether it's with Braylon or with Ches. But I think that these are the things you got to go hand in hand with, right? I mean, it's not the same as it has been, and I think that's where we've all got to recognize that. I'm not saying it's right or it's better or whatever it is, but there's a flow to things. and I think he's mature. He understands that. He's disappointed. He obviously wants to touch the ball a lot more, and feels like more than just selfishly feels like he can be more of an impact. And I agree with him. He can be more of an impact, but the opportunities that we get, we've all got to take advantage of. I do think that he's in command. I loved his energy on the field. When it came down to it, you saw that competitive spirit, whether it was in the second half, having to pull some things down. I think he's doing a really good job. I think that he gives us some options, but the quarterback is still evaluated on how everybody plays around him, and I think that's the uniqueness of that multiplier position. And where I think he's in a good place. I think he's being a great example of a lot of things. I still think that he knows that it's going to depend on how all those guys play around him and how he kind of gets everybody involved and makes everybody better.